There have been many returning players on Survivor over the years, but there are several deserving old schoolers who have yet to get a second chance at the game. Old school Survivor players are considered those who played in the early seasons of the show. Though there isn't an exact cutoff between the old and new school game, the pre-Survivor Gabon standard definition seasons are typically considered to be the old school era. Survivor has held many returnee seasons with various themes, like All-Stars, Fans vs. Favorites, Game Changers, and Winners at War. There's only been one second chance season. However, Survivor Cambodia in 2015 was the only season so far to feature a fan vote to decide the cast, and the pool of returning players consisted of contestants who had only played the game once. There are still many one-time players who should get another shot. 5. Panama. Shane Powers, one of the most eccentric and unpredictable personalities in Survivor history. Panama's Shane Powers was one of the contestants eligible to be voted into Survivor Cambodia. It was a major shock to the Survivor fanbase that he wasn't voted into the season. That was the last of Shane's many close calls to returning to the game, but he still deserves a spot on a second chance season. 4. Thailand. Gandia Johnson. Gandia Johnson was a standout on Survivor Thailand in 2002, but unfortunately, she was the victim of a sexual misconduct incident on the season. Further, the cultural climate at the time framed her in an unsympathetic light, and she received unfair treatment from the general public and from Survivor itself. It's clear that Gandia deserves another chance at Survivor, not just because of the incident on her season, but also because she remains a fan of the game and is an incredibly fun and entertaining personality. 3. Palau. Ian Rosenberger, a fan favorite. Ian Rosenberger was a member of one of Survivor's strongest duos when he and Tom Westman dominated Palau. Ian has been in the mix to return to Survivor several times, but he no longer watches the show and has expressed mixed feelings about making a return trip. He's now a successful nonprofit CEO and family man, so even though he's been tempted to play Survivor again, it isn't something he's been willing to pursue. If there's ever another second chance season, though, Ian should be one of the first players to get a call, even if it's likely that he turns down the invitation. 2. Marquesas. Sean Rector, a larger-than-life personality. Sean Rector was one of the stars of 2002's Survivor Marquesas. He was a player who was outspoken and self-assured, and he contributed to many memorable moments on the season. Sean is another player who was in the mix to return at points, but it never solidified. The Survivor alum would make for an excellent returning player, especially given that it's been over 20 years since he played. 1. Africa. Teresa T. Bird Cooper. Teresa T. Bird Cooper is another old-school player who narrowly missed out on a second chance at the game. Like Shane, she was in the voting pool for Survivor Cambodia in 2015. It came as a shock when Jeff Probst announced T. Bird hadn't been voted into the cast. Despite her crushing disappointment at missing out on that season, T. Bird remains a fixture in the Survivor community. With her enthusiastic love of the show and positive personality, she has seen renewed popularity as the co-host of the Talking with T. Bird podcast with former Survivor All-Star Rob Cesternino. T. Bird should get an immediate invitation if another second chance season happens.
Love in the modern world is fake when love was meant for joy too. When I find you, I realize that somehow we be sure